Hey YouTube, last video I talked with Phil Darden from Hamilton Storage about automating capping and decapping of tubes. He was kind enough to return the favor and he wanted to ask me some questions about automating liquid handling. So now, thanks to Phil, you get to see that side of the conversation too. Enjoy.
Hey Mike, why would I buy an automated liquid handler in the first place? Can't techs just pipette what I need them to pipette?
To be honest, they can. The main reasons people do it is for speed, accuracy, and throughput. But there's some other really interesting reasons you might get automation for your liquid handling. To me, one of the most interesting has to do with onboarding new employees. There's been a lot of turnover in labs lately. It's a very real pain point for most people to recognize, dang it, I've got to train a new person up to my standards, my protocols. That takes time and effort on the new hires part and on your existing team's part, and your quality might fluctuate due to that onboarding. With automation, you've leveled that out, kept the quality the same, and freed your people up to be able to onboard the new hires on other things, and it speeds up the whole process.
Are the results from an automated liquid handler going to be better than manually pipetting? If so, how do we know?
Phil, to go back to the first answer I gave, a lot of times that accuracy is actually the reason people are getting into lab automation in the first place. No bones about it, a robot is just going to be more consistently accurate than a human will be. That's what robots do, the same thing over and over and over again. Once you add in precise microprocessors and things like that, it just takes it to a whole nother level. To me, I think the more interesting question is that second one, how do we know? Quite simply, the results speak for themselves. You can take the data you generate on a automated system and put it head to head with the data that your existing team runs, and if you've set up your automated system properly, it's going to consistently be better. There's a lab I work with that took their best human pipetters who threw down some truly amazing results when they tested the accuracy and precision, and liquid handlers were able to match or beat that. And that was their best 2 or 3 people. Imagine all of the other people. With all due respect to the techs, the robot was just blowing them out of the water when it came to accuracy and precision. It wasn't blowing them out of the water on data analysis, on using their brain to design things or think through or troubleshoot. That's where humans come into play. But the robot, it's better at the accuracy. You also get a lot more traceability. So you're able to tell to the second when that robot is doing things. You just can't log that sort of data when it's a human doing it. So if something goes wrong, you're able to trace it back and identify exactly where.
Do I have to use specific tubes or plates or racks on liquid handlers?
I can't speak for all the systems out there. I know there are some that are locked into specific chemistries or specific labware. For the most part, if you're using standard plates, those have all been standardized to SBS footprint, so they're all going to fit. Your standard tubes will all work. It's more when it comes down to, say, tips that it might get specific to the liquid handler, or like I mentioned, the chemistries.
All right, here's a good one. How does the liquid handler actually know where things are placed on the deck, such as the different racks, or the different tubes, or the different plates?
The really stupid answer is we tell it. That's part of building the protocols. You actually go in and you tell the system where exactly on the deck of the robot everything lives. There's a couple ways you can do that though, depending on the system you have. A lot of times you have your software and you're like dragging and dropping digital models essentially into place, and then you can program it off of that. For something more entry level like the Hamilton Prep, you're able to just use like an app interface, and you can either just tap and say, this is what lives here, or you can even use a camera that's integrated on the top to just take a picture and go, oh, I know what labware this is, and it imports it into the protocol for you. Everything then runs off of that deck layout.
How much throughput do you need before automating these liquid handling workflows?
The throughput honestly isn't as big of a deal anymore. It used to be you needed very high throughput to justify the cost of getting into automation. Over the last few years, automation has gotten a lot smaller and more affordable though. So there is a tipping point, but it's a lot lower. Even academic research labs are really getting into some of these smaller automation systems that don't have high throughput. There is a microbiology lab I work with that uses a liquid handler to do one transfer every couple of days. The reason they use automation is because the timing was very strange for when that transfer had to happen. So now they don't have to worry about a tech coming in at 3 in the morning to do one pipetting action. So the throughput really isn't that big of a limiting factor anymore. It's just very specific to what you need out of it, whether that be increased accuracy, timing of your schedules, anything like that. And that is what we call a wrap. As always, I'd appreciate a like. Tell me why you liked it in the comments. Subscribe so you can catch future videos. And why don't you send it over to a lab mate? Have a great day, y'all.